زي أير بنانا أير. So si air banana air. Polira ka air, ita air. Itok say. Polira ka air.
تقول في الرقة. لا كمان.
What? Man, that video we had a previous episode which had a video like that, a double eggs. What might have caused that? Is it a genetic occurrence that causes the hen to produce such an egg? Well, who knows? Maybe you know, you can share in the comment section and let us know. Let's keep watching.
Why has the U.S. government worked very hard to suppress the UFO information?
For over 100 years plus, has always known that we have UFOs and UPAs on planet Earth, but they've always worked hard to suppress that information. Did you ever ask yourself why that information is always kept under lock and key? Did you ask yourself why? The reason is, if the government admits that we have extraterrestrial bodies on planet Earth, and it's public knowledge for human beings, it's going to disturb the religious setting. As I told you, religion is meant to keep you away from God or to keep you away from your spirituality. Religion is not meant in any way to make you know yourself or know your God. Because what has your religion told you? There's a God in heaven. You're created, you're here on earth. What will happen once you find out that there are so many beings who look like us human beings and actually visit planet Earth? It is going to make you start questioning your religion. That's one of the reasons this information has always been kept under lock and key. But it's now been kept under lock and key for far too long. In the next 1 year, they're going to admit it because people have this knowledge. They're going to do a lot of PR exercises, damage control, but there's a lot of this information out here. We're not the only people on planet Earth. We have other extraterrestrial bodies with our DNA who have 2 hands like us and 2 legs like us, but are not human beings. They visit and they go. And those UFOs are the ones who have brought all the technology, most of the technology that has happened in the last 30 years. It is the UFOs that have brought that technology to us. Follow me for more.
What do you think, man? Does she make sense? Oh, what's happening here? You know these videos where there is large water bodies, they are very scared. Is this a person swimming or what's up? Or a mystery animal in the sea? Yeah, it looks like a person in the 2 hands. Okay. Let's see what happens. Like this person, a shark. Is this a shark or another animal that is heading towards him? Oh my god. Yo, this is very scary. Man, what will happen to this guy? It's like he's shouting, calling for help. Oh god. He has even stopped swimming. Yo, he has now seen the animal and he has entered the what we call the, is it flight mode? Flight mode. Yo, why is he running now? Oh my friend, it's like the animal is worried. Why is this guy running? Why are you running, my friend? I'm not even here to ask you anything. Yo, the animal is just on its trips usually, but the human beings are very scared. Yo, what would you have done in such a situation? What would be your first thought? Is the animal on its usual laps or just coming, seeing you as food? Which is very hard. You see, this animal is very cool and it's not even asking this guy. Maybe it had just come to witness. Yo, even these people know how to swim like this. Oh my god, the animal was surprised. But these guys took the animal surprise and misunderstood it. Whoa! This guy almost ran on water, man. Oh, this is very fascinating. I don't know what to say. And even the guy on the boat, even him too seems scared. He's worried. Oh, that animal might come back, man. He doesn't know the animal is just chill. See, the animal is there all that time. If it wanted to do distraction, it would have just come and attacked them long time ago. But it ain't worried. It ain't doing that. So what does that mean? Even these animals sometimes they have pure intentions of love. I wish we showed the same to them, man. The universe could be very good. You can imagine swimming with those animals, a shark carrying you. Well, what does that sound like? Sounds like a movie, but could be so cool, man. But start that gesture there at home. And reduce judging people because of
And
how
my
they
dad,
look.
being a Freemason, he was chaplain of his lodge. In a nutshell, they would claim to be a social club that has ritual. If a brother Mason commits a murder or treason, they're obliged basically to look after their own. The headquarters for a lot of those in New Zealand, there's two main areas. One is Havelock North, Masonic ritual abuse. The ritual abuse happened in a Masonic lodge. Trouble is, a lot of police are members of the Masonic lodges as well. Well, I'm Selwyn Stevens. I am from New Zealand, from Otago in the South Island, but now living in Manawatu in the North Island. And I'm the author of, well, I stopped counting at 35 books on different range of issues, and now the top 25 of them are now on Amazon globally, so that's quite exciting, really. Well, this is our top seller, Unmasking Freemasonry, Removing the Hoodwink. I put this together in request from a series of meetings that I was doing in a Baptist church in New Zealand, and he wanted me to cover some other spiritual deceptions as well, like the Mormons, JWs, and spiritualism. And people wanted my notes, and so they grew into a book. This has gone through 7 editions and has a foreword from a good friend who's passed away now, Dr. C. Peter Wagner from Colorado, who was professor of church growth at Fuller Theological Seminary. So he had me speak at one of their conferences with 2,500 people, and I led them through the prayer renouncing Freemasonry so that they could be set free. For me, the issue really was seeing families, including my own, with what I would regard as Masonic curses operating. And I just decided I needed to study this in order to work out what needed to be done. And that was mostly during the 1980s. And I remember taking my dad with a group of people to Dunedin one time, to the town hall where Dr. Derek Prince was teaching, and he's probably one of my favourite Bible teachers of all time. And he talked about the 5 principalities that controlled Dunedin, which is our 5th biggest city now. It used to be just about number 1. And one of them was Freemasonry. And my dad, being a Freemason, he was chaplain of his lodge. He was a Knight Rose Croix, and he had some questions on the way home, which is fine. And I didn't know all the answers, but I was starting to pay attention to this. And a wee bit later on, I was able to talk to his pastor, who I knew quite well, who was not only born again, but had a very good understanding of the spiritual realm. And he was able to explain things to my dad in such a way that my dad renounced Freemasonry before he died, which I'm most grateful for. I've seen its effect in families. One of the things that I found very interesting is, why do men join this? And there's a number of reasons for that. I think the predominant reason is a chance to get ahead in business if they're in business, because they do special deals with each other. I would say there's an element of pride that they learn secrets that nobody else supposedly knows. Trouble is, so much of it has now been exposed. It's not secret anymore. And I think what holds them in there is just fear, because every degree that they go through the ritual, first degree, they promise not to share the secrets of that degree. And so they go through a little ritual where they actually make a sign of cutting their own throat from ear to ear to say, that can happen to me if I share the secrets in this degree. Second degree is to have your heart ripped out. Third degree is to cut your stomach out. And we call that nowadays a colostomy. So we've actually found, and through some very good friends of mine who had done some research on this, that a lot of health issues in families are to do with the part of the degree that their father or grandfather was in the lodge. Give you an example. I was speaking in Melbourne, Australia, at a big Baptist church, and probably had about 50 pastors in that particular meeting. And I happened to make a statement of, you can tell where somebody's father or grandfather was, what the degree level in the lodge, by what are the major problems in the health of their family. And I had the pastor who was hosting me challenged me on that on the way home, and I said, well, you do your own research on it, but that's what I found. Well, over 6 months later, he rang me quite out of the blue, and he reminded me of my comment, and I said, so what did you find? And he said, my wife and I are actually professional counsellors. We each see 8 people a day, 5 days a week for counselling. He was the staff counsellor for the church. And so he said, we designed a questionnaire depending on what people came. Now, to understand, that's a church that's so big, they broadcast their service live on 2 radio stations at the time anyway. I don't know if they still do. And so therefore you don't do ministry in a church that's going to air. And so anybody who had an issue had to make an appointment and go and see this couple. So he said, that's 16 people a day, 5 days a week for nearly 6 months. He said, I can tell you you're 100% right. Now, my research has shown that Australia per capita had more Freemasons than anywhere else on the planet. So I think that's a reasonable sample. It's anecdotal, but I think that was their research. So, we've seen a lot of people healed of health issues, both in their family and in themselves, when people go through renouncing the key bits to do. We go through each of the degrees, and we've got their logos and so on relevant to each degree. We explain these are the words that are normal in the different degrees, pretty well global. The first 3 degrees, called the Blue Lodge, every degree is the same pretty well globally. I have not yet found any significant changes. Scandinavians have a slightly different structure than the British Commonwealth or the American systems, but they're pretty much the same. So we would go through and explain, right, these are the issues with each of these degrees. If you want to be healed of something to do with that, then here's a template of what you could do. And so we actually had people in 5 countries from different ministries who were dealing with the same stuff in the late 1990s, early 2000s. And we sort of drafted a corporate prayer that we could all use. And there's lots of ministries all around the world that use the same stuff. Sometimes they say where it comes from our book, or if I don't really mind. We've seen some absolute miracles. People healed of stuttering, people healed of heart disease, people healed of stomach cancers. And there's actually a list in there of the different areas of health that have been healed once people have gone through the prayer. So we're excited with the fruit from it, and the fruit is good. So when men go through the rituals, and women do in women's lodges as well, they're speaking words that actually curse different parts of their body. I've mentioned the first 3 degrees already, but as they go higher and higher, they go into other parts of the body and so on that they're cursing. And so what happens is when they say those things, if they don't come on them as a person, they come on their family members because they're in a covenant and also a bloodline relationship.
Well, oh my God, I think now that is very scary and unbelievable. Please, our friends from Australia, can you tell us if that story is real there? Do you guys experience it or have seen it? Share, I would also like to know of those that have information. Otherwise, thanks for watching up to this part. Much love, and keep it tuned for another fire episode. Yeah. Till we meet again, we're out. Keep spreading love. Well, see back.